I'm going to share with you today my 20 favorite homeschool things. Hi everyone, welcome to our homeschool table. My name is Jerilyn. I am a homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 10, 4, and 1. Today's video is hosted by CJ from Homeschooling Through High School and Stephanie from Schulte Sweeties Homeschool. I will leave a link to their channels and the playlist down below in the description box so that you can see what all of the other moms are sharing today. So this is just supposed to be a fun video about our favorite things, and so I'm going to go ahead and start with my favorite calendar or planner. So this last year I used the Sunlight Homeschool Planner, and what I really liked about it, I just kept it in a binder, but what I really liked about it is the really nice divider tabs for the months. And it is a full-size 8.5 by 11 planner, but it has meal plan pages, checklists, all sorts of things, and I really liked that aspect of it. It's really pretty as well. The only reason that I'm not going to be using it again next year is because I wanted to support Wendy over at Plan Prep Pray. She came out with a home management and homeschool planner for this coming year. It starts in July and ends next June. So I'm going to be giving this planner a try. It's really pretty. I've done a flip through of it, and so I will link that up above in the iCards for you if you are interested in checking that out. So those are the planners that I really like and will use. The next category is a homeschool game. Now, we don't honestly really play a ton of games during our homeschool time, and the other games that we play aren't really school related at all. But this one, you do a little bit of counting, so I figured that I would share this. Sleeping Queens is one of my daughter's favorite games. It is for ages 8+, and it is for 2 to 5 players. So we like to play that game from time to time, and it is really fun. So I highly recommend Sleeping Queens. The third thing that I want to tell you about is my favorite storage or organizer bins. And those would definitely be these Bright Room plastic tubs. And they come in different sizes. So I have this larger one right here. I use these smaller ones. These are perfect. Let me see if I can show you a little better. I use these small ones up here for organizing the Sunlight readers. They almost always fit perfectly into these little bins. So I have one up here. I have, let me just move this. I have one down here, and I have them in other places of my house as well. So I really like the Bright Room plastic bins. See, I have more right here too. But another one that I really like are these little bins from Walmart. And we got these in the home decor section right when you first walk in last year, right before the school year started. And they were literally like $2. So these are perfect because they don't tip over when you have them loaded up with all of your homeschool stuff. And they also have handles on the sides. So I really like these quite a bit, and my daughter does as well. Category 4 is apps and websites. Well, we don't really use a lot of apps for school time, but I will tell you about 2 different things that we do use. One is the Libby app through our library. My daughter really likes to listen to audiobooks, and so we use the Libby app all the time for her to be able to check out audiobooks and listen to them either on the computer or on my phone. I prefer her to use the computer. The other thing that we access for audiobooks is my daughter's Apologia Zoology 2 audiobook, and so she goes onto their website and logs into our account for that. So those are kind of the only 2 things that we use on the computer for apps or anything like that. The 5th area here is Homeschool Supply, either store, brick and mortar, or online. Well, we have a local homeschool store that's about a half an hour away from us called Exodus Books, and you can actually purchase from them online, but you can go to the store. It's just a small little store owned by a homeschooling dad, and it's been around here for years. The other place that I really like to shop online is Rainbow Resource Center, and that's mainly because if you spend $50 or more, which I usually do, you get free shipping. And I find that it's much cheaper and easier to shop with them than using other websites. So that's my favorite. Number 6 is binding machines. So I have a ProClick, which is by Swingline, and I got this off of Amazon when I first started homeschooling. I think it was 2019, and I bind lots of things, little booklets all the time. So I really like that. Plus, I really like to use the reusable spines. They open and close. So I will link to those down below in the description box for you. I also have a video of my binding system, and so I'll link that up above if you are interested in seeing that. But I really love my ProClick because it helps me to be able to bind any kind of electronic resources that I use. Plus, if there's something that I want my daughter to work on, like a workbook style, I just bind it for her like that instead, because then it lays flat a lot better. Number 7, my favorite laminator is my Scotch laminator. I've had this since before I was homeschooling, and I like to use the Scotch brand thermal laminating pouches as well. These are the 3mm size, and they're shiny. I'm actually going to be trying out some new matte finish laminating pouches here pretty soon, because I'm going to be printing out some art prints for next year, so I don't want there to be a lot of glare on the pages. So I will definitely keep you posted about how that goes. But Scotch is my favorite brand for laminators. Next is my printer, and if you've been following me for a while, you might remember that I had a little struggle with getting the wrong printer first, and I haven't done an update video on that yet, but this is the printer that I wound up getting the second time, which is the Epson EcoTank 2850. And what I really like about it is that it does double-sided automatic printing, which is great. I just pull out this little tray, it feeds the paper through, it pulls it back in, prints the other side, and then it comes out. It's wonderful. The only thing that would be really nice, but I don't have, is that if I'm using the copy machine part, like the scanner, I have to do each page individually. I don't have a feeder tray at the top. That would be really nice, but it's like another $200. So I just decided that I don't use that feature enough to spend that much money. I'm really liking this printer so far, and yeah, I'm really glad that I have it. Number 9 is my favorite notebooking book. Now, I kind of took this 2 different ways. The first one for actual notebooking pages is I like to use notebookingpages.com. I've had a lifetime membership to that website for quite a while. I think probably a year and a half or so, but I just print out these notebooking pages for different things that we need, like artists, and what else do I have? Composers. And so I printed out different composer pages, things like that. This is the most recent one that my daughter did, was about Vivaldi. And look at this, you guys. She wrote so much. She wrote so much that she even had to write on the back. Anyway, I really like notebookingpages.com. I am an affiliate with their company, and so I have an affiliate link down below for you in the description box if you're interested in finding out more about that program. It's a one-time lifetime membership, and you can print out anything from their website once you have the membership. The other type of notebooks that I really like are the lesson notebooks, or the lesson books, from Sherry Hayes over at momdelights.com. If you have never heard of Sherry, she is amazing. She's a mom of 15 kids, and she makes lots of resources. And so you can buy them on Amazon, and they're really inexpensive. I think this was like $8. So this book is just for copy work and dictation. I have a video all about this, narration, narrative drawing, and we have used about 2/3 of this book so far. So this should last us probably through the end of summer or so, and then we'll need to get another one. So Sherry Hayes at momdelights.com sells these, and you can just get them. I think just look up the lesson book and whatever number you're looking for. I use number 4 because it's for older students, and I really like those. Number 10 is my favorite place to get books, whether it's new or used. And hands down, I like to use thriftbooks.com to order all of my used books, which I just recently have done a couple different videos on books that I've gotten, so I will link those up above for you if you haven't seen those yet. But yes, thriftbooks.com is definitely the place to go for me. Number 11 is electronic products. I don't really use a lot of electronic products. I just recently started purchasing a few more digital files from mostly Where'd You Learn That? Rachel over at 7 and All. Her YouTube channel is called 7 and All. She has a company called Where'd You Learn That? And so I've been buying some of her resources lately. But I was going to cover that on number 17, so that was a little sneak peek. Number 12 is my favorite homeschool or mothering podcast. And hands down, I do have to say that I listen to the Mom to Mom podcast the most. That is a podcast that's done by Jamie Erickson, September McCarthy, and Kate Battistelli. And they actually just had their very last podcast. And so I'm actually kind of sad. It posted last week. And I've probably listened to all 120 of their episodes. Maybe like I've missed 5. So I highly recommend the Mom to Mom podcast. They are leaving it up, so you can always listen to all of their videos from the very beginning. The only other one that I really say that I listen to all the time is Homeschool Better Together with Pam Barnhill. And I have been listening to Pam Barnhill when she had her Your Morning Basket podcast, and she also had 10 Minutes to a Better Homeschool podcast, and then they kind of merged them all into this one Homeschool Better Together. So that's what I'm listening to now, and I really enjoyed that podcast. Number 13 is to show off our favorite mug or water bottle, and so I will show both because I really love this mug. This was a teacher gift back when I was teaching kindergarten, and it was from a student I had my last year teaching in 2019. So this is just a really special mug that I really like because it's so big on the bottom. The only problem is that it doesn't fit on my coffee warmer very well. I'll share about that at the end. But the other favorite is my water bottle here. It has this really pretty sunflower, and then it has verses that say, "You are beautiful, victorious, enough, created, strong, amazing, capable, chosen, never alone, and always loved." And I really love that. I ordered it from a local to me person, and I am not even sure if I have her contact information anymore. If I can find it, I will link it down below. But I really like this bottle because it's insulated and it keeps my water cold for so long. And sometimes I'm not very great about drinking water, so when I come back to it and it's still cold, it makes me really happy. Number 14 is a homeschool thrift secret. And I don't really have a secret for you aside from the fact that just shop used when you can. I know all of the brand new shiny curriculum is all really lovely to have, but sometimes you can save so much money if you just look for it used. Some places that I like to look are at my used bookstore here locally, and then I also like to go to used curriculum sales, and there's one that is coming up here in June that I'm going to go to. So that's why I've waited on ordering my science curriculum, because I want to see if I can find it used there first, and then I will purchase it from wherever else I need to purchase it from. But that is just my tip. Buy it used when you can. Okay, number 15 is my favorite pens, pencils, markers, anything like that. And I like anything erasable because I'm making mistakes all the time in my planner and I don't like it to look scratched out and all of that. So I use the friction pens. So I have a whole bunch of them, but I've kind of gone through a whole bunch of colors and had to throw in a bunch away. So I like these. They're the clicker friction pens. And so when you want to erase, you just use the little top part there. And then I also have some erasable highlighters. I use these in my planner all the time. And these are from Hobby Lobby. They're very inexpensive. I can put a link to them down below for you. So you may recognize these from some of my other planning videos. Number 16 is a favorite homeschooling or mom encouragement that helped us either at the beginning of our homeschooling or recently. And there were 2 books that I couldn't choose between, so I'll just tell you about both of them. Number 1 was The Charlotte Mason Companion by Karen Andriola, and I got that from the library a couple of years ago when I was first learning more about the Charlotte Mason method, and that was an extremely helpful book. I would really like to buy that book. In fact, I need to just put it on my Thrift Books order for next time. because I know they have it there. But the second book that I just read, I think back in like November, December, was Modern Miss Mason. And right now I'm totally blanking on the author's name, but I'll put a picture of it up here. But that was another really great book to just kind of get your feet wet with the Charlotte Mason method and not necessarily reading the 6 volumes. I actually do have volume 6 right now that I have started reading, but boy, I can hardly read a paragraph at a time without stopping to like figure out what I just read because it's written, in the 1800s. So those 2 books were really great resources for me. Number 17 is favorite printable resources. Now, like I said earlier, until recently, I didn't have the best printer. So any of the resources that I got had to be fairly small files that I could run through a bunch of ink. But my very favorite homeschool printable resource company or curriculum is from Rachel over at 7 and All. Her company is called Where'd You Learn That? And I have the Excuses Exposed Bible study, the He is Risen Indeed Easter study, and then I have 2 purely preschool units so far. So this is one that I actually just got ready, Vehicles at Work, that we're going to be starting probably next week in May. And then I also have the one about transportation, which my son really liked. So I've really liked all of Rachel's products over at Where'd You Learn That? I will link to her website down below in the description. Number 18 is to share your favorite homeschool tip that you learned from someone else, another homeschool mom. And that is probably to create independence in your students from an early age. Now, that doesn't have to mean their schoolwork. It could mean things like create a picture schedule so that they know what happens next. I've been doing that with my kids since I usually make them some sort of a chart when they're about 2 years old, especially for getting ready for the day and getting ready for bed, that they can just go through the steps and they know what to do, and it creates that really predictable schedule for them. So I've done that with chores and homeschool, checklists and things like that. And so I just really like to help them be as independent as possible. Number 19 is our favorite benefit to homeschooling. And for us, that is definitely that we get to choose. We get to choose the curriculum that our kids use. We get to choose what subjects that they're learning. We get to choose if they are doing more advanced things or more remedial, depending on what they need. We get to make all of the choices. And that is really important to us. And it really helps us to be able to disciple our children the way that we want to, because there's more time that we can spend on learning about the Bible, but also to use curriculum that is from a Christian worldview. And so that's really important to us. That doesn't mean that we are only teaching our kids that worldview. We do still talk about how other people believe and things like that, so that they have a knowledge of what other people out there think and just have those different perspectives. So that's why we really enjoy being able to homeschool. And last but not least, number 20, this one is just anything else that we wanted to share. And for me, I had to pull out my coffee warmer. Now, this is not a portable coffee warmer. I do have to plug this into an actual outlet, but I got this for Christmas this last year, and it was the best $20 that my mom ever spent. I use this every single morning, and I don't like to warm up my coffee all the time, and so this has been really helpful because once I set it on the warmer, it can just sit there, and it could be 30 minutes later, and my coffee is still warm, and so I really love my Mr. Coffee coffee warmer. The only thing that could make it a little bit better is if it was battery operated and I could just, not have it plugged in and move it wherever I want, but this is just fine. All right, well, I think that's it for my 20 favorite things. I would love to know down below what your favorite things are from your homeschool. If you would like to share those down below, I would love that. Thank you so much to CJ from Homeschooling Through High School and Stephanie from Schulte Sweeties Homeschool for hosting today's collaboration. And thank you to all of the other moms that are sharing in the collaboration playlist as well. Don't forget to click that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today at our homeschool table, and we'll see you next time.